You know?
We as a people, we don't have nothing because why? We under the curse.
And in want of all things.
And in want of all things. If you want to learn the Bible, you see, so the days of slavery, the white man give you a doctrine and it passed down to Christianity. And they teach you lies right now. That's why that 25 church in Puna and nobody know the truth. You know, I show today you learn more than you learn in your whole life already in all them church. All you do is take care of money, right? Right, so what I'm trying to show you is that we are the children of Israel. And we God chosen people and we are to keep the commandments of God. Right? So we are going to teach the truth according to the Bible, that said the Lord, right? We are the children of Israel as we was about to, as we going over here now. How we know that we are the children of Israel? Right there in the Bible, Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Right. So the Bible commanded Deuteronomy that if the children of Israel listen to the commandments of God, obey the commandments of God and do them, then God was going to be set us on high above all nations of the earth. Set us above. But today when we look around, we are the bottom of all nations of the earth. We are the ground level. We are the servants. We are always in servitude position. That's why today our people selling in the drain, on the pavement, outside the established businesses, and the other races or the other nations have the well-established businesses. There's a reason for that. Why we always on the outside, on the side of the road, right? So, that's one of the curses. And sister, sis, what you said? Why we, right? Why we, right? Right, I know you're listening, that's why I'm talking to you. Why we as the Negro people, the so-called niggas, we always selling on the pavement, on the drain, or outside the big businesses? Why we alone is the hustlers? Why we own the big building like KFC and Hosign and all them things? Why? You ever ask yourself why? You ever consider that? You never consider that, right? But the Bible says that. You might have Isaiah 1. Watch this. Where you now say that the same thing the Bible says. Our people, we don't even consider nothing, them kind of things. We don't spend time to think. We just follow, do. Alright? So you have it?
Isaiah
Get this scripture,
chapter
sister.
1 and verse 3.
You hearing him? She's not hearing him good. Fix that mic, please now. She's not hearing him good.
Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner.
Right, sister, yeah? Right, the ox knoweth his owner, right? The ox is a cow, right? A dumb animal. She know who the owner is, right? Read.
And the ass his master's crib.
And a jackass, he know where he living, right? So we see here now, sister, two dumb animals, right? One know the owner, and the next one know where he living, where he from. Read.
But Israel doth not know.
But who?
But Israel.
But the children of Israel
doth not know.
Them don't know their owner and them don't know their homeland. Right? Read.
My people do not consider.
Right, and the children of Israel, which is God people, they do what?
Do not consider.
Does not what?
Consider.
Same thing when you know silly. The children of Israel, we don't consider. We don't take the time of to sit down and ask ourselves, well, why things set up the way it's set up, boy? Why we always suffering, boy? Why we always have to be the ones to get up and hustle Monday to Sunday? Why we alone doing that? Right? And the other races of people, them well established, the Syrians running the country. The Indians are all the big businesses. But the Negro people in Tunapuna, we selling on the pavement, in the drain, we looking for $1 day to day. If we stay one day, we hungry. Because why? We are the children of Israel under the curses. Go back to Deuteronomy. And we establish that. Right? Give me verse 15, yeah, Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Right, so God is speaking to the children of Israel and say, if you, the children of Israel, don't want to listen to God and obey the commandments,
to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee.
Curses shall come upon you. So you hear it? Yes, your friend there, you hear the reader?
Officer Illusion.
Oh, we now explaining the curses.
Nah,
right? You know that you can come in the shade and the sun hot. But you know that we as a race of people, we is a cursed people. And we're living under a curse right now, generational curse. And it's only one thing we can do to get out of it, and that's what we're trying to share out here. But you know we're a cursed people, right?
Wireless mic.
You ever wonder why we, as so-called black...
Why they not turn on the wireless mic?
Right. You ever wonder why we as so-called black people always at the bottom of society? In Trinidad, in America, in Europe, wherever we is, Negro people, we are the bottom of society. Watch here in Tunapuna, right? Our people selling on the pavement, in the drain, outside the business. But the Indians, them are the big establishments. The Syrians, them are KFC. All the big groceries is the Chinese. The other races are all the big establishments. But our people, we hustlers. We outside on the side of the road. Then the police come, we have to pick up we cat and run. Because they locking me up, they don't want we sell out, they don't want we sell out there on the side of the pavement. There's a reason why these things happening, and it's all right here in the Bible. Deuteronomy 28, that is what we're going to. But we're showing you why it happened and how it happened. It was not supposed to be that way. We were supposed to be on top, ruling. That's what the Bible says, right? Let me read it for you. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and verse 1. Right? Listen this, there is truth we ain't going here in the churches, but it's right there in the Bible. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1.
Yeah.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Right, so Moses speaking to the children of Israel, he said, if you listen closely to what God said to do, read.
To observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day.
Which is simply to keep the commandments of God. Obey the commandments of God, read.
That the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Read that part over again. You hear, sister? Read.
That the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Right. God said, if the children of Israel obey and keep the commandments, he will set them or us above all the other nations of the world, which is actually all the other races. Because nation in the Bible go into race, right? So if the children of Israel was to obey the commandments, we were supposed to rule over all the races on the face of the earth. Right? If we obey, but give me verse 15. Here what happened?
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass.
Right, so that's the flip side right now. God saying that it will come to pass if what?
If thou wilt not hearken.
If you will not keep the commandments and obey what God said to do it.
Unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses,
all this what?
All these curses, all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Right, so God said if we refuse to obey God's words and the commandments, that curses will come upon the children of Israel. As a race of people, curses going to come upon us. Read on.
Cursed shall thou be in the city.
Here's one of the curses, read.
Cursed shall thou be in the city.
Hold on, pause. He said we're going to be cursed in the city. Tunapuna come like a small city. We as a race of people is the cursed race out there in the city. The other races, them blessed in the city. Them have all the nice establishment, the money coming in whenever they like. But we as a people, we curse in the city. We looking for it. We hustling. Most of these vagrants, these prangers, is our people. The homeless is our people. Why? Because God said, we as a people, we don't want to keep the commandments, so we will be under the curses, rather than if we keep the commandments, to be under the blessings. Read on. Curse in the city, read.
And cursed shall thou be in the field.
And curse, we as a people, we were cursed in the field. Remember the days of slavery? Who was in the field picking the cotton? Our race of people. Who was picking the cocoa? Who was chopping sugar cane? Our people in the field. Even today, when we look at the work field, right? Who curse, who running the businesses, and who is the servants? Our people, right? Read on.
Cursed shall be thy basket. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store.
Cursed shall be our basket and storehouse. We little pantry home with grocery. We always curse. We had to buy food week by week, month by month, right? If the country was to lock down for another 2 months right now, I bet most of our people, we don't have enough food in the house to go a whole month without coming out and looking for something. Because that's our curse. We curse in the bread basket, we curse. Huh? Right? But other races like the Syrians and them have food packed up in their place. We can look in the country for 6 months and they have no problem. Because they're not cursed. But we as a people, we remain cursed because we don't want to keep the commandments of God. Right? Give me our next curse day. Give me 68.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68.
Right. Hear this curse again, sister. Hear this big one here. A curse again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
God is going to carry the children of Israel into slavery again. With what?
With ships.
With slave ships. Then that's exactly how we came into Trinidad and Tobago, via the cargo slave ships.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
And we're never going to see we homeland. We're never going to go back where we come from. Even if they tell we was emancipated. Emancipation is alive. If we emancipated, how come we never go back home? They set we free, but we still here in the prison house. Emancipation is alive. Read on.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Right, and we were sold right here in Trinidad and Tobago from off of the slave ship. When they were in town, Woodford Square and them places, that was auction blocks. In Woodford Square, they used to sell black people to the white man. And they used to sell we to the other races, whoever have money and own big plantation. Because why? There's one of the curses in the Bible that will come upon the children of Israel, which came upon us as a race. That's the reason we can identify that we are the children of Israel. Read.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen.
For slave man and slave woman. Read.
And no man shall buy you.
And nobody will be able to buy you out of that slavery and redeem you, because in the olden days in slavery, somebody could have buy a slave or redeem a slave out of slavery and set them free by your own freedom. But for us now in this last captivity, it has nobody to buy us out as a race of people and say, set us free. Nobody will be able to redeem us. Only Christ, the black Messiah. And that's what we're waiting on, our redemption. Right? Brother, watch me. You know you're a slave today? And you have to emancipate yourself? Right, because why? Why are Christianity in our people's brain, religion, and politics keeping us mentally enslaved? And we need to get our people to wake up and shake up and return to the laws, commandments of God, right? Keep the commandments. For example, today is the Sabbath day. Our people don't care. We're breaking all the commandments of God. We're not supposed to be breaking the Sabbath day, and it's in the Big Ten, the so-called Big Ten. Right? Today is the Sabbath day. So start, you know today is the Sabbath day? And you're supposed to be keeping the Sabbath day? The Sabbath day, brother, you know today is Sabbath day? You can learn this one here today, right? Let me show you when is the Sabbath day. Give me the Exodus 20 and 8. Right?
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Right. God said remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. When is the Sabbath day? Read.
6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the
Right,
Lord,
it's the 7th day. It's the 7th day. Sister, you can tell us when is the 7th day? Which day of the week is the 7th day? You ain't get to tell me that. Alright, no problem. We love we people still. Right, the 7th day is the Sabbath day. Mother, sister, you can tell us which day of the week is the 7th day? Or your daughter might be able to tell me that faster. The 7th day is the Sabbath day. And the 7th day is Saturday. Read it again from the top there.
Exodus 20 and verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work.
Right, so the Sabbath day is the day of the Lord. And we as a nation of people, the children of Israel, we're not supposed to be doing any work on the Sabbath day. You know that, uncle? That the children of Israel is not to be working on the Sabbath day, which is the 7th day. Huh? Why do you think so? Well, I asking why, because I don't think so. I think it's very easy and simple and... Huh? Where is it? I don't know, we don't have it. We have the Bible here, the King James Bible. Right. We believe that is controversial, but we read in here and it's clear, simple English that the 7th day is the Sabbath day.
Right.
No, we are not allowing that. We're just reasoning with you a little bit now because the people we come to, they're really trying to hear now. They don't want to hear, and the other people more willing to hear, and we're not really here for them. Interested in the father side. You know why? You might have a hold on, don't go. You might know why. Right, give me numbers 10. Let me tell you why I keep asking about your father. Right, listen this.
Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the 2nd month.
Right, so they get all the people, right? Whether who's your mother, your father, everybody, and they bring them together, right? To do something. Read.
And they declared their pedigrees.
Right, they declared their pedigree. Where's your pedigree? Your race, your bloodline, like when you're lining dog and goat or whatever, right? Your pedigree now is your race. They're going to identify the race or the pedigree now, read.
And they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers.
Right, by the house of their fathers. Regardless of who your mother is, right? Because the father does carry the seed, right? So you can only be where your father is, regardless of where your mother is, right? Because it come like your mother is the land and your father plant the seed, right? So regardless of that, the seed will always be the same fruit, the father. So it don't really matter where your mother is. You is where your father is, right? So if your father is a Portuguese, a real Portuguese, then regardless of your mother, you is a Portuguese. We like to say we mix and mix up, but it's only the father carrying the seed, regardless of where he plants, right? So based on that, uncle, where you going to say your race is now? Uncle, where your race is, uncle? Where your race is? Where's your ethnicity according to the Bible? But there are no African in the Bible. Right, a black man. But it's a black Indian, it's a black Chinese, it's a nigger. Right, you know what is on Navani? What is in a Bible dictionary, right? That has scholars, white men, well-learned scholars, and they have this is a Bible dictionary, right? This dictionary got the meaning of words in the Bible, per se, right? So I just say it's a nigger, right? It is true. It's called me nigger. But watch this, right? You remember the flood, right? Noah and his 7 sons, right? Noah and the flood, right? Noah was left with his 3 sons and their wives, right? Ham, Shem, and Japheth, right? You know that, right? Noah 3 sons, Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Right, let me watch this. Oh, you say it's a Negro, right? Niggas, right? Watch this. Ham. Yeah. Let me read out Ham there. Because remember, the world started over from them. Right? Them became the father of nations. Right? Read. Have it?
This is the Thunderbolt Bible Dictionary, page 213. Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and the one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor.
Right, the progenitor is the father of these races.
He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negro.
Read it again, the progenitor.
He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes.
Right, so Negroes came from Ham. Right? But the Bible says the dark races, the dark races came from Ham, except the Negroes. And you say it's a Negro, so that means we didn't come from Ham. And Ham is the father of all the Africans. Because the land of Ham, but Africa was the land of Ham before they call it Africa. A white man conquered it and then name it after his name, Scipio Africanus. And when they call it Africa after a white man. But before that it was named the land of Ham, which is the father of all the dark races, but not the Negroes. But you know you're a Negro, and I am a Negro. So we didn't came from Ham or the African. So we are not Africans. And that's the Bible dictionary said. So who are we? They just can't be like that. The dark races, the real, every year we see real Africans, we know, the same underground. Right, because right there, you continue telling you who is the real Africans, right? Well, so what? Listen closely, you get it?
He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians.
The Egyptians, right? Them is real Africans, them come from Ham. Right? We were slaves in Egypt, building the pyramid. That's why Moses came to save we, the Negroes.
Ethiopians!
The Ethiopians, a lot of people is walking and say, I am Ethiopian, we got Ethiopia, but we are not Ethiopians. Them is the real Africans. Ethiopians is not niggers, Negroes.
Libyans and Canaanites.
Right, so there is the 4 real Africans there. And we ain't come from none of them people. We is the Negroes. So what is our race in the Bible? Who we? Because when you read the Bible, you read about everybody in it. The 18 nations, which one is us? Right? What we out here to tell our people is that we are the children of Israel. We are this here, the 12 tribes of Israel. That is our race, Israelites. It's not a religion, it's not a church, it's not just a movement. That's the race, just like our Indian, Chinese. Israelite is one. We are Israelites. And we can prove it right there in the Bible. Because what? Go to Deuteronomy 28 and verse 16. Right? We are the children of Israel. You know that, Rasta? No, I'm not intelligent. I just telling you what the Bible says. You could read this. Well, right, watch this. I got you listening. Come in the shade now, brother. Right? Watch this, right? What's the Bible, right? The Bible is not a book. The Bible is a collection of books, right? Different books make up the Bible, right? Right? Right. So we're going to one book here now, the book Deuteronomy, right? Right. The book Deuteronomy 1 and 1. Listen to something. He's a good listener.
Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side Jordan.
Right, so after they cross the Red Sea now, Moses speaking to all the children of Israel. He ain't talking to the Egyptians where they now came from, and he ain't talking about the other people who was doing business with Egypt. Egypt was like America today, world capital, right? Moses speaking only to the children of Israel. This book here is written to the children of Israel, right? Verse 1. Telling you what to, right? So jump down to verse 28 now. 28 and verse 1.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently.
Hold on. You have to take every time we read that here. He said, if thou, meaning you children of Israel, if you listen, right?
Hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
So God, Moses told the children of Israel, God said, if you keep the commandments, I will set you, the Israelites, above all the races on the face of the earth. Right? That's a nice deal. Because God chose that race of people there. God never said, oh, they're going to be equal. He said, I'm going to put all them above the children of Israel, right? But watch this now. Give me verse 15, right?
Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not.
Right. So the flip side here now, he said, but if you don't want to listen what I say to do and do, what will happen?
If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses, all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So he said, if you obey, I go bless you and make you above all. But if you disobey, I go put a curse on all you. Right? So what this? So the Israelite now, as a cursed people, is a cursed people if they disobey. Give me verse 45. Listen what you say. I'm going to show you a pattern. Watch.
Verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee.
Right, so he's telling you now, you're going on this. If you disobey, these curses will come upon you.
And shall pursue thee.
Pursue means to follow after. You go, no matter how you run, it pursue you can't escape it.
And overtake thee.
And not just follow you, it go overtake you. You can't get away, it go catch you with.
Till thou be destroyed. Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee.
And they, the curses, shall be upon you, the children of Israel,
for a sign.
For what?
For a sign.
For a sign. Hold on. We just read it, and we doesn't pause the thing but go read it. He said the curses go be upon you, the children of Israel, for a sign. What a sign is used for? What's the reason for having a sign? You know, sister? What's the purpose of signage? Yeah, to identify. So if I tell you, boy, when you reach Tunapuna, bring back a piece of chicken for me. You're going to see a sign, my sign roti, and go on and say chicken. The sign saying you, the sign is to tell you who it is or what it is. And the Bible says the curses will be upon the children of Israel for a sign to show you die them. They have a sign with them. So, right? Read on, that was it.
And for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
For a sign and a wonder. That sign on them people, they'll make you wonder. But with that, we can really wonder with us as a people. The fastest man is a Negro. The strongest man is a Negro. The tallest man is a Negro. The brightest man may be a Negro. But here, the stupidest man is a Negro too. The dumbest man is a Negro. Everything is a wonder. But how them people so? How they so strong? How they so stupid? Why you gonna do that? Only a black man to do that. Only good and bad. There's a wonder on the people there. You know?
Because thou servest none.
And upon your seed forever. Of your children forever. Right? So the signs is to identify these people. So let me show you a 2-3 sign quick and tell me who is the children of Israel today. Give me the yokes of iron upon thy neck. 48, 47.
Because thou servest, verse 47. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart.
Right. So because you, the children of Israel, you don't want to keep the commandments and serve God with joyfulness and happy to do it.
And with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies.
Right. So you don't want to serve me? I'm going to make you serve your enemies. Because we was created to serve anyhow. So you don't want to serve me and be on top. I'm going to make you serve your enemies. Who is your enemies?
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
And God will not send me enemies. You ain't getting away. God send me enemies against the children of Israel.
In hunger.
You going to serve your enemies. And hunger meaning to eat for food. You must serve your enemies to eat. How we just eat today? Or let me just go today. Let me go back to the days of slavery. How the slaves used to eat? How they used to get food? They had to work for who? The white man. But what the Bible says them is the enemies. Right? And today, how we just eat? We had to work. Who we working for? the other races, the Indian, the Syrian, the Chinese,
Bring it out.
to eat. What the Bible call them? The enemies. Read on.
And in thirst.
And in thirst to drink, you had to work for them the same way. Where does get water from? Who running? Where was I getting water from? Was I they pay the Syrians on them who are the desalination plant and everything to get the pipe? Blue waters is not owned by our people. If you want Johnny Walker and Caiman Stark, who own that? We had to work for them to get that. We had to serve the other nations so that we.
And in nakedness.
And clothes, if you pull the tag on your back here, it make by an Indian, a Chinese, a Syrian, some other race. We had to work for them to get clothes.
You know?
We as a people, we don't have nothing because why? We under the curse.
And in want of all things.
And in want of all things. If you want to learn the Bible, you see, so the days of slavery, the white man give you a doctrine and it passed down to Christianity. And they teaching me lies right now. That's why it's 25 church in Puna and nobody know the truth. You know, I show today you learn more than you learn in your whole life in all them church. All you doing is taking your money, right? Right, so what I'm trying to show you is that we are the children of Israel. And we God chosen people and we are to keep the commandments of God. Right? You get a flyer? Give my brother a flyer now so he can come back with the watch.
Publicizing
I just had a taste. It's a real information for you. Checking the back end.
my people, and it
Yeah, we
changing
not man
at
thing here.
all.
We on
You listen to them?
Facebook. We on WhatsApp. Contact me now.
It changing.
It's love.
It changing.
Yeah,
No matter how
we
you
all
put it.
over. We are real men from
Well, I
South
hope
there.
so.
Point and
I
thing.
really, let me see.
Sapphire, Aspire, everywhere. We
I
are
really
men, right?
hope so.
What is a nation?
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.
And